I'm Natasha Kirchek, and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. Coming up in today's newscast, the Knesset votes to tighten Israeli control over Jerusalem. The U.S. Vice President's trip to Israel is still up in the air. And we'll reveal why an Israeli zoo is about to take in the cutest and chubbiest hedgehog you've ever seen. Stay tuned for the latest news in Israel. The Knesset has just passed another law that's already stirring controversy, and this time it concerns the city of Jerusalem. The new law now requires a two-thirds majority from the Knesset to approve giving away any part of Jerusalem in future peace deals with the Palestinians. That includes East Jerusalem, which Palestinians have long hoped to make their future capital. Until now, such a move would have required approval from 61 members of the 120-seat Knesset. Now, 80 votes will be needed. Ironically, this vote passed 64 votes against 51, definitely short of a two-thirds majority. Many see this as a prime example of the law's true suspected goal to ensure that no part of Jerusalem is ever on the negotiating table for future peace deals. Though many Israeli lawmakers clearly see an undivided Jerusalem as the only option, critics say this law destroys any hope for peace talks with the Palestinians. That's because it effectively ensures East Jerusalem can never be legally transferred to any foreign entity. With the chaos and violence still fresh in everyone's mind following President Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, many are also questioning the timing of this law. The Palestinians have not yet made an official statement. Anti-regime protests are ramping up in Iran. Thousands of Iranian citizens have taken to the streets to protest the country's crippling economic conditions. But Iran's leaders are warning dire consequences for those who continue to protest. At this time, at least 9 demonstrators have been killed by the government's Revolutionary Guards. These are the worst clashes in Iran in nearly a decade. Details from the ground have been foggy because Iran's president blocked internet access once the protests broke out. Social networking apps like Instagram and Telegram have been totally blocked in an effort to keep protesters from organizing. But as you can see, demonstrators actually seem more passionate than ever to protest. Both U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu are commending the protesters, saying it's high time the Iranian people take back their country from leaders who squander wealth for terror. Bizarrely, Iranian leadership has accused Israel of somehow sparking these riots in the first place. Netanyahu has just offered this response.
I heard today Iran's President Rouhani's claim that Israel is behind the protests in Iran. It's not only false, it's laughable. And unlike Rouhani, I will not insult the Iranian people. They deserve better. Brave Iranians are pouring into the streets. They seek freedom, they seek justice, they seek the basic liberties that have been denied to them for decades. Iran's cruel regime wastes tens of billions of dollars spreading hate. This money could have built schools and hospitals. No wonder mothers and fathers are marching in the streets.
After a weekend of rocket fire from Gaza, another rocket has just been fired into Israeli territory. The projectile landed in an open field in southern Israel, and no damage or injuries have been reported. But as always, the army has retaliated by shelling numerous Hamas targets in the Gaza Strip. Palestinian sources say the attacks damaged several Hamas military sites, but didn't cause any casualties. Though intelligence suggests that Hamas may actually be trying to contain rocket fire into Israel, the army still holds the terror group responsible. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has come under fire by several Knesset members who say his weak leadership has failed to stop the rocket attacks ramping up in recent months. Netanyahu maintains that security has never been stronger, and many argue that pushing things too far could escalate into a war that neither side wants at this time. New legislation that raises the drafting age for immigrants with medical degrees was set to take effect on Monday, but due to major pushback from both the Immigrant Absorption Ministry as well as private groups like Nefesh B'Nefesh, the law has yet to be enforced. ILTV's Aaron Porras has more on the story.
Thank you very much, Natasha. And yeah, I mean, according to officials who are opposed to the legislation and are in talks with relevant government ministries, the conversation is reported to be going amicably and professionally. They're discussing the pros and cons of actually putting into effect this new legislation. Currently, the male immigrants, the current law is that if a male immigrant with a doctoral degree or any sort of medical degree comes to Israel under 33 years old, that person would have to serve in the military for 18 months, a year and a half. Now, the new law changes that so that any doctor under 35 years old would have to then enter the army for 2 years. It also includes women whereas before it was men only. Yeah. So it's women only as long as they're not mothers. And it's certainly raising a lot of eyebrows.
Now, what is the IDF's motivation for doing this? I mean, it's obvious, but obviously it's controversial.
Well, there are actually a few different motivations behind this, but I'll get to that in my report right now. This push is one of many made by the IDF recently to provide necessary medical skills in the military. There has been a doctor shortage apparently so bad that the Army is even crowdsourcing proposals from the public in Tel Aviv today. Still, arguments against the move made in late December said that the new draft requirements would only push people away. Speaking to the Times of Israel Sunday, Nefesh B'Nefesh official Ronen Foxman said, quote, "If you raise the bar from 33 to 36, you maybe get another 10 doctors at most per year, but you might put off the aliyah of another 100, end quote.
American Vice President Mike Pence was set to visit Israel later this month, but when his name was curiously left off the Foreign Ministry's list of visitors, officials said his trip was delayed indefinitely due to scheduling difficulties. Well, apparently Pence himself says otherwise. The White House claims the vice president is still set to visit Israel as scheduled.
Pence was originally set for his trip to Israel last month on the heels of President Trump's bombshell recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. That trip was rescheduled, citing the vice president's need to oversee the passage of America's new tax law. But many speculate that it was canceled because of violent unrest and anger at America in the Palestinian world, and because Palestinian officials refused to even meet with Pence during his trip. Prime Minister Netanyahu is set to leave for India on the same day Pence rescheduled to visit, which is likely why the Foreign Ministry said scheduling difficulties were behind this latest cancellation. But despite this, Pence's office says the vice president's trip is still a go, even if Netanyahu won't be there to receive him. Israel's Foreign Ministry has now clarified their earlier statement, saying they never said he isn't coming. The White House says Pence will arrive in Israel on January 14th.
The future of our cities is smart, and when I say smart, I'm talking about technology. Innovative experts from around the world are set to be gathering in Israel for the 2018 Muni World Expo to discuss how we can bring our cities up to digital speed. Joining us now with more details is Ari Steinberg, the Vice President of the Federation of Local Authorities in Israel. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, so let's talk about this expo. What is the Muni Expo? What is its mission?
The mission is to bring all of the innovative fields that surrounds us, all of the local authorities in Israel and in the world, to one place in Tel Aviv, and to bring all the managers of the local authorities, from the mayor to the CEOs, to the CFOs, the CTOs, everyone that manages the city, to see all of it in one place.
So you're talking about smart technology that can be implemented in cities, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some examples of kind of, you know, the focuses of the conference?
The main topic is a smart city under attack. Every mayor wants his city to be as smarter as it can. But when the city is smart, it gets vulnerable. And we are dealing with those kind of cities. So we bring them to Israel, we bring them here to this convention.
So
with all of the top technologies, the head of the intelligence services in Israel, the police, the IDF, the Mossad. But
let's talk a little more specifically about kind of some of these threats. When you're talking about threats that a city would face, what does that compromise?
Hackers, or even just if the citizen won't get the service that he's supposed to get because it's online, and he won't get the city hall and the service that he needs, it's a problem of the mayor. It's the problem of the managers of the city. So we have to deal with it. So we bring all the experts to
discuss the solutions.
To discuss and to give us the smart solutions for all of that topic.
And I'm assuming a lot of that technology is coming from here in Israel as well, right? The startup nation.
The startup. That's why they come here.
Right.
Because of the startup nation, we have over than 150 exhibitors. Yeah. We have a huge exhibition. 150 exhibitors of all of it is about smart cities, smart vehicles, smart solutions for everything that the city deals with.
Very, very cool. All right, so, if our viewers are interested in attending the expo or kind of seeing what's happening, it begins on February 13th, correct?
13 and 14 of February
Okay.
in the Convention Center in Tel Aviv. It will be great. We have a website. You can see all the topics that we are dealing with there.
All right, well, so go to
And I hope to see you all.
www.muniworld.com for more information. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Now, if you haven't managed to get yourself over to Israel, here's a heads up. For the first time ever, the Travel and Leisure magazine has named Tel Aviv-Yafo as one of the 50 best places to visit in 2018. It looks like you might want to start booking your ticket. Though Tel Aviv and Yafo always top travel lists, this is the first time the prestigious Travel and Leisure publication has ever given them a shout out. Citing the amazing nightlife, food scene, attractions, and hotels, the New York-based magazine says Tel Aviv and Jaffa are definitely not to be missed. Israel now joins countries like Argentina, Fiji, Morocco, and Italy as one of the most lush, luxurious travel locales in the world. International magazines consistently single out Tel Aviv's beach as one of the best in the world, and considering this year was a record high in tourism for the country, come on, do we really need to give you more reasons to visit? All right, guys, a Palestinian shoe store in Ramallah is stepping on a few heels with a controversial sign near its entrance. Addressed to all British and American citizens, the sign asks shoppers to offer their apologies for causing pain and suffering to the Palestinians before they set foot inside the store, of course.
Here's the not-so-welcome sign right in the front window of the Ramallah shoe store. It reads that before entering, you should offer your apologies and hold responsibility for the Balfour Declaration and Trump's dirty decision, which has caused all of the pain and suffering for the Palestinians since its declaration till this very moment. Followed by a very polite, "You are most welcome." While many find it laughably unreasonable to hold common tourists accountable for decisions made by government leaders, either recently or 100 years ago, others are even more outraged. Israel's coordinator of government activities in the territories has condemned the sign as totally offensive and has even warned that mixing politics and tourism will only hurt local Palestinian commerce.
One of the biggest complaints with formal education is that the program is designed as a one-size-fits-all system. While succeeding in this environment is hard enough, only 60% of university students are estimated to finish their degrees. Well, joining me now in the studio with the solution to this issue is Gil Segev, the Vice President of Sales at the company ProPrep.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so talk to us a little bit about ProPrep. What do you guys do?
Right, so ProPrep is an online study guide. We developed a technology that allows us to build customized courses in under 48 hours to help students learn throughout the semester and for exams and help them better understand the material.
And this is especially important for people who have learning disabilities, right? Who just find it hard to study in the typical structure that a school provides, right?
Yeah, that is correct. But our audience is all of the students.
Okay, interesting.
Everybody,
cool.
Yeah. And
okay, so for what courses and what ages, who can access this?
So we are currently doing STEM courses, which is mathematics, physics, statistics. And we are always trying to develop our courses to add more courses and more subjects. We are mainly focusing on undergrad students to help them, for the first stages of learning.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is more specifically for college students.
Yes, it's only for colleges and universities.
Only for colleges and universities. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, first of all, how did you come up with the idea to create this type of platform?
So it actually started in Israel about 8-9 years ago. Two professors did tutoring sessions to students, and then they came up with the idea how to make it more accessible for everybody, for all the students. So you can access the website 24/7 from your home. You don't need to go anywhere, and you don't need to schedule a meeting with a private tutor.
Right.
So they started it in Israel. It is very successful here. And we developed the US website. We also working.
So this is already available abroad. It's available in the United States. Anywhere else, or?
Yes, in Nigeria as well. We are working over there.
Well, I think I could have used something like this when I was studying in university. So If you're a student that wants to access this platform, do you have to sign up online? How does it work exactly?
Yeah, so you have to sign up online, of course, but we're doing promotions all the time. We are new to the US, and the last semester was the first semester that we were actually active and launched the product. So, for example, this semester we are going to do like some kind of a little promotion that you can use the promo code free 2018 and get 2 months of free subscription. Just to help you
What's interesting
jumpstart.
is where do you get the data to be able to kind of create this personalized experience for each student?
So it's everything that we do is our own data, right? The material is our own material. We record it. We are working with only professional professors with at least 10 years of experience and a master's degree. And the data we collected from the universities itself. We take the syllabus. We build it topic by topic on our website, fill every topic with lots of subtopics to make it very easy to navigate through the topic.
I think the next step for you guys, maybe we'll need to focus on younger students as well, right? Not just stick to college, because I think that there's so many different methods of studying that just don't exist, you know, for children, and that's kind of the fundamental, right?
Yeah, you are completely correct. We are eventually we're going to do high schools as well. And younger ages as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Gil, from ProPrep. All right. It looks like Jerusalem is already making good on one New Year's resolution. The city has just decided that it will ban all large vehicles that run on diesel gas from the city center. Drivers will be notified in the coming year, and the law will officially go into effect at the start of 2019. The ban will apply to any diesel-operated vehicles weighing in over 3.5 tons, meaning most large trucks, buses, and even public transportation. Diesel engines emit dangerous and toxic emissions, especially in larger and older engines. So the idea is to ban these types of vehicles altogether in order to cut back on deadly air pollution and improve the overall environment. For now, personal vehicles that run on diesel won't be affected. The law also won't apply to commercial vehicles that have been outfitted with pollution-reducing filters. This is a similar ban that the city of Haifa placed earlier this year. That initiative's already seen incredible results in improving Haifa's airspace, and ministry officials are hoping that the idea can be adapted to Tel Aviv as well, which has a massive problem with pollution. All right, friends, brace yourselves for a cuteness overload. An extremely chubby and totally adorable hedgehog named Sherman is set to join Israel's Ramat Gan safari. Sherman weighs in at a whopping 1.656 kilograms, making him twice as big as a normal hedgehog.
Little Sherman, or should I say Big Sherman, grew up on the streets of Israel. He fed on leftover cat food placed out for the city's stray cats. And as you can see, all that kitty food went directly to his waist. As adorable as he may be, life for a drastically overweight hedgehog is actually a tough one. Sherman has trouble walking with all that extra weight. But now that he's found his new home in the Ramat Gan safari, animal doctors have put Sherman on a hedgehog diet, which means he should hopefully be sprinting through hamster wheels in no time at all. Oh, and if you've never been to the Ramat Gan Zoo, trust me, it's well worth the trip. Sherman actually isn't the only celebrity hedgehog on the team. The safari has a cute long-eared hedgehog too.
So it's the new year, and all of us want to get into shape, but for those of us who need exercise that's low impact and still effective, my next guest has the solution. Joining me now to outline his incredible West hydrotherapy technique is Ori Sela, a hydrotherapy expert and the owner of Water World. Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So describe the West technique. What does West mean, and how does it world
West is Water World swimming therapy. It's a hydrotherapy swimming technique, which is based on treating neck and lower back pain. The neck is the center of the stress in life, and lower back is the center of the balance. And we learn how to swim not like Michael Phelps, a bit different, according to our flexibility and abilities. Which means if I have lots of pain, I'll probably won't be able to lift my hand. So I'm going to stretch the hand according to how I can stretch the hand in order to reduce stress. The amazing thing about it is if you drag the legs and you glide very slowly, if you don't have stress, you float better, much better. And of course, you swim faster And today we treat thousands of people in Israel and of course online in 120 countries.
Wow, this is, I mean, and this is really important because, you know, obviously not everybody has the ability to work out, you know, in the way that they want to, but we need techniques like this. Now, how did you come up with this? How did you develop this specifically?
I've been a parachute instructor in the Army, and after the Army I felt lower back pain, and it was before surgery. My mom told me, you got lots of things, good things in life, Ori, but you're going to feel your lower back all your life. Yeah. And I really went crying in the pool, and I saw all the things that I learned as a professional swimmer that are not possible to do. Yeah, I can't really lift my elbow, I can't swim fast. I can swim like an adult.
Well, certainly being in that situation, you don't want to think that you can't work out as a result, which is a lot of people just give up when they're in that situation, right? When they're dealing with pain like that.
Yeah, so I started swimming with no pain. Everything I did is, if that hurts me a bit in the shoulders or neck or even in the knee, I'm not going to do it. And afterwards, lots of people came to me and told me, Ori, we want to learn about the West swimming technique. Yeah. But I saw every person needs to swim a bit different. So we analyzed lots of swimmers, thousands of swimmers, and now every person, I'm looking at you, and I know exactly when you need to swim and what are going to be your mistakes if you want to treat your lower back or loosen it a bit.
All right. Well, I mean, this is very interesting to me personally. Now, where is this technique being employed? If you're somebody who's interested in you know, becoming part of your team, essentially, can you go to a center or can you find the information online? How does it work?
Yeah, you can. It's called Water World. You can see it, and we have 8 centers in Israel from north to south, and you can swim online. You just fill in 8 questions in a questionnaire. I know almost everything about you, and especially how you need to swim, how you need to focus, and how to treat the neck only by swimming a bit different. Swim according to your flexibility, which is really amazing because I can swim much faster than when I was 18. And
you're having lower back pain nowadays.
No,
not anymore. Well, not because of this.
Not anymore. 22 years, no back pain.
Good for you. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us and telling us about this technique. All right. We're only 2 days into the new year, but archaeologists already think they might have found the biggest discovery of the year. A small clay seal has just been unearthed near the Western Wall in Jerusalem, which historians now believe proves the biblical claim that ancient Jerusalem had governors.
This little clay seal, which dates back roughly 2,700 years, depicts 2 male figures, and below them is an inscription in ancient Hebrew that reads, belonging to the governor of the city, confirming a piece of history previously only found in the Bible.
It is the first time that we find an actual finding, which is the sealing itself, inscribed with the name of a position, the governor of the city of Jerusalem, while until now we knew it only from the Bible. The governor of the city is reminded several times in the Bible, in several cities. The governor of Jerusalem is reminded twice, but we never found him actually in an archaeological excavation. So that's the big importance.
Governors of Jerusalem are believed to have been appointed directly by the king. Such a position is only mentioned twice in the Bible, once in 2 Kings and again in 2 Chronicles. But direct historical evidence that governors of Jerusalem did indeed exist is an exciting insight into ancient life in the Holy Land. That's because the governorship would be the highest local position held in the city of ancient Jerusalem. Guess it's true what they say, sometimes big things come in small packages.
And now for our Hebrew word of the day, never judge a book by its cover, and a great example of that would be a kipod, or hedgehog in Hebrew. Today's word comes in honor of Sherman, the overweight kipod, who will now be making his new home at Israel's Ramat Gan Safari. On the outside, he may look spiky and dangerous, but have you seen that face? I mean, have you even seen the cute little face of any kipod for that matter? Here in Israel, it's actually pretty common to see them waddling around up north, so if you want the chance to come and see a real-life kipod for yourself, it might be time to buy a ticket to the Holy Land. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather forecast. Tonight should be partly cloudy with a chance of scattered showers and a low of 54 or 12 degrees Celsius. But tomorrow, the skies are expected to clear up with a slight rise in temperatures to a high of about 65 or 18 degrees Celsius. All right, that's it for today's news. Today's exchange rate is 3.47 shekels to the American dollar. Remember to sign up for our daily newsletter at iltv.tv. I'm Natasha Kirchuk, and thanks for watching.